I have a young man on the line by the name of Greg Kane. Good afternoon, Greg.
A young man, Mark. Thanks for that, dude.
I do what I can. I do what I can. How are you, Greg Kane? I should give you your full introduction. It's Greg Kane from Hue and Cry. Yeah, one of the two.
Yes, there's only ever been two people in Hue and Cry, much to the usually people that my partner meets in the music industry says they've been involved in Hue and Cry until they find out that she's actually my partner, and she says, "Oh, what did you actually do in Hue and Cry?" And then they backtrack and they backtrack. But I suppose I should be glad that people make up stories that they're in Hue and Cry. But yeah, there are only two people in Hue and Cry: my brother Pat and me.
As somebody mentioned to me this morning, the Coatbridge Cowboys.
Better than the Coatbridge Mafia, I suppose.
I suppose. Now, thank you for taking the time to chat to us today.
No problem,
across Midlothian. You are you're embarking on a little tour just now.
Yes, we released our last album, Hot Wire, in March this year, and we did a launch weekend in Glasgow and a launch weekend in London. And then Pat and I embarked upon a huge tour of England on our own, just the two of us. So we played songs from Hot Wire just as a duo, but we've got a new promoter, and he has been very proactive in getting us gigs. So because a lot of the places we played this year in England we'd not played for 20-odd years, it made sort of financial sense for the two of us just to go on our own and see if anybody was there. Yeah. And we had a fantastic time playing to all these people that I didn't even know were there, but they all turned out in their thousands, and we had a great tour. So now, when Pat and I do it stripped back, we save some of the money, and that's what affords us to take our funk orchestra out to do these 6 gigs in Scotland. So it's an 8-piece band playing the new album Hot Wire and all the best of the old stuff. And
you're going to be playing quite close to where I'm sitting. You're going to be playing at the Queen's Hall.
Yes, I love the Queen's Hall in Edinburgh. It's oh gosh, it's a famous venue, that.
Certainly is.
I was watching, we used to work with the Dalkeith often as Tommy Smith, and Tommy posted up photographs of him playing the Queen's Hall when he was 18 years old, which is an awful long time ago. So I started rummaging about trying to find old photographs, and Pat and I have been playing the Queen's Hall for now on 25 years on and off, so I'm really looking forward to going back and playing it.
It must be quite rewarding, Greg, to find a sort of new fan base as well. You know, you're going back, and as you say, you've stripped back the show, and you're playing some of your old classic stuff, and and a lot of younger audience members as well who've maybe only just found Hue and Cry.
Well, a lot of the young audience members that come and see us, and we do a thing called the Platinum Pass. So on these gigs in Scotland, if you go onto the Hue and Cry website, hueandcry.co.uk, click on the gigs, we give you the opportunity to come to the sound checks, and we give you a champagne reception and some stuff to eat, and you can watch the 8-piece funk band sound check, and then Pat and I do a little Q&A, and then we do requests. Pat and I stay up on the stage in the afternoon, between about 4 and 6, and fans just ask us what songs. I mean, we can't play every song in the set, we only play for an hour and a half, around 45 minutes. So that's the fans' opportunity to ask for songs, and Pat and I will try and remember verses and choruses. It's quite funny because the fans can remember some of the songs better than we do, but they can watch us squirm as we go through trying to remember lyrics and trying to remember chords. But we do that during the day, and what happens is a lot of the time it's mothers and sons or fathers and daughters, and these kids at early 20s, they've been brought up with Hue and Cry through their parents. So it's kind of been ingrained in them, so they come along and they know so much about our old stuff. It's quite strange watching it coming from a fresh-faced youth, talking about old albums from the 80s.
Brilliant stuff, absolutely brilliant stuff. And you've got, I think I just read that you've got another album that's coming out called A's and B's.
Yes, our benevolent old record company, EMI. Well, we're signed to a small company called Circuit back in the 80s that had Nena Cherry and Massive Attack, and Hue and Cry. Those were the 3 main acts on that, and then they were distributed by Virgin, and eventually they were swallowed up by Virgin, and just as they were swallowed up, Richard Branson sold Virgin to EMI to buy his planes and his trains. So when we went to EMI sort of scratched their head at us, didn't really understand what we were, and just let us go. But since then, they've released a few best-of, so every time Pat and I get a bit of traction from our new stuff, from Open Soul and from Christmas Day and from Hot Wire, all the new albums we've released, the indication of whether or not you're getting noticed is when EMI release a compilation album.
Yeah.
So Hot Wire did really well for us, our last album, so we know that because EMI are releasing a best-of for Christmas. So it's a good indication of how successful you are.
Well, that's absolutely great stuff. Now, the concept of A's and B's, is that's going to have some of your original B-side stuff that you never released?
Yeah, I've been watching the conversation on the Hue and Cry Music Club, which is our social network. We built our own social network a few years ago, so there's over 5,000 members on that, and they keep us up to date with everything that's going on in the media about Hue and Cry. So I've been monitoring the debates about what the B-sides are like on this A and B's album, and so far people are really chuffed to bits that EMI have obviously gone to a bit of effort to put something interesting together for the fans. I mean, Pat was involved in it. They kind of approached us to say, would we get behind it and promote it? And Pat sort of said, well, let me help with some of the sequencing. So Pat was involved in putting some of the sequencing together, so he kind of feels a part of it. So we were glad to promote it, and we're proud of all those B-sides. We were involved in the music business at a time where the B-side was your chance to not worry about radio or being commercial, just be creative. So a lot of our B-sides are quite off the wall and quite left field, so I'm quite proud that they've actually made it onto a compilation record.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to our listeners in Midlothian, Greg. It's been great chatting to you. Okay. And the date for the Queen's Hall, is that the 21st of this month?
Yes, it's not this weekend, but next weekend.
Next weekend. The 21st, is that the Sunday night?
I think it is,
off the top of my head, I'm just trying to work out dates here without looking at the calendar. And tickets can be purchased from... are they available on your website, or did I have to go to
if you go to hueandcry.co.uk, you'll see all the list of gigs. We're playing Edinburgh on the Sunday, we're playing Dunfermline on the Saturday, and playing Hamilton on the Friday. So not this weekend, but next weekend you can come and see us in Edinburgh.
A great opportunity to see the fantastic Hue and Cry. Thank you very much, Greg, and we'll look forward to the album coming out.
Okay.
Cheers now.